welcome back, dear adventurers, to another chapter of our incredible journey. I'm your host and Dungeon Master Kyle, here today to lead you through the twists and turns of our epic quest. But first, as always, a recap of the previous session, brought to us this time by Parrish.
In the moments after Ari had fallen, in the darkness of this dungeon, our Captain Talus appeared overwhelmed. Ortega threw Ari's body to Parrish, knocking them both to the ground. I admit, I treated him with some unkindness, in my words afterwards that I came to regret. I attempted to revive Ari with my Revivify spell, however, my queen had other plans. A messenger of the Raven Queen came to me. She had told me that she was displeased in how I had acted in the mortal realm, and with great reluctance, I agreed to return with her. In return, that she return Ari to us, as I had bought and paid for his soul already. And I gave her fair warning that I was now more than what she had made, and she had no claim to what would remain. In the few moments I had, I gave the party the last words I could think of for them. That no mistakes can't be fixed or forgiven. That no matter how strong we become, it's okay to be afraid and to take care of each other. Lastly, that I hoped that Ari would finish his song. I was sorry there wasn't more time. With Ari returned, I was gone. In the interim, I understand it that Talus left to make a deal with whom we don't know, but I understand that she gave up something of great significance to her to bring me back. I joined them back to life around the campfire, where Ari played a song, and I finally felt a stirring that I might know what to do, and joined him. Ortega, seeming moved from what had happened in the past hour, shared with us finally information from his past, why he was on the run, his shame and his sorrow for killing his village, for trying to exile him, and running to not need to fulfill a promise made to a powerful Fey being. Tatiana told Ortega her story, but it was private and kept amongst themselves for now.
Today, our heroes, Lady Tatiana, Ortega, Parrish, Captain Talus, and Ari, awaken from a long rest within the depths of the Betrayer's Rise. Recent revelations weigh heavy on their minds as they stand at a crossroads, uncertainty shrouding their path forward. So join us as we navigate the shadows of the past, confronting challenges and uncovering secrets that will shape our heroes' destinies. So obviously last we left, you guys were just settling down, finishing all your conversations. Talus was the last person to leave by the fire and slowly drifted off to sleep, finishing your long rest. At this point, you've lost track of time. It's been, it's been a decent length of time in terms of hour by hour progression. But after the 8-hour long rest in the dungeon, you don't know if it's night or day, but you wake up fully refreshed, alive for some of you.
I do enjoy being alive where I can be. How's everybody feeling after this? Everybody whole?
I would like sleep, Ari. Leave me alone.
Well, listen, I know, but that's because it's still dark, but it's been a great deal of time. Oh, that's probably good for you, isn't it? Well, hey, it's daytime. It's dark still. You must love it. How's everybody else doing from what I can see?
Nothing a little coffee won't be able to fix for everyone, I'm sure. Breakfast will be along very shortly. I did manage to pick up some nicer rations, apparently.
That will make a nice, sunny start to an otherwise incredibly dark morning. Thank you, Parrish. So I guess we can sort of get ourselves put together for the morning, and, I don't know, what do you guys think? Do we head on? Does anyone need to do anything else before we progress through the dungeon?
Before Ortega's going to answer, I'm going to ask Kyle if I actually put a whole bunch of boulders in front of that hallway, or I think you actually said there was a door there that I couldn't see on the map.
So the boulders are, it's a caved in entrance. You did put boulders in front of the door that you'd come from. But other than that, it's a pretty big cave in. It would take some time to clear the way for sure.
Okay. In that case, Ortega would have probably woken up super early and then waited for Tati to roll off of him before he got up to do his morning workout.
I like that you basically assume that you're a queen-sized bed. I mean, he's not wrong.
And then, do we have another direction out of this room or not currently?
Not currently. However, if you all make a investigation check for me, please.
Yeah.
No.
2.
12.
6.
Ari didn't sleep well. or he just hasn't had his coffee yet.
Investigation.
12.
Oh, investigation? In that case, a 1.
I have advantage, so I rolled twice. The first time I got 12, the second time I got 17.
Nice.
Apparently, I can investigate real good.
Real good.
So,
Real good. Decently, anyways.
Tatiana, as you realize that you've been now resorted to sleeping on the ground because Ortega had gotten up early, you roll over and you look around the room. You see Ortega clearing out the rubble, and you get a good casing of the room. And due to your knowledge of Fae, the Fiend, and undead, and their infrastructure and stuff like that, you know that everything that they do is either like in threes or very odd numbered things that usually end up into even. So when you look at the room, you see that there's the 2 alcoves that are empty, with just some of the basic decor statues of Drow from Ages Lost, and then there's another set of alcove, which again very similar to the first ones. But then you look to the further on, closer to where the vase was, and you do notice that Ortega is clearing out rubble on one side, and the other alcove on the opposite side of Ortega doesn't seem to have anything out of the ordinary, except that it's just a wall.
That's odd. I'm gonna move closer and check for a switch of some sort.
Okay, make an intelligence check or investigation check.
Investigation. Really careful. Alright, so first one's 18.
18. Yeah. As you get closer to the door, you see. So I guess I just spoiled it. As you get closer to the wall, you do see that there is no switch, but engraved on this wall looks to be something in a language that you might not understand, but there are some words that kind of come out to you, and you see the words "pass through to oblivion." And you notice that the wall itself is kind of flowing. It's static, but you see that it seems to be kind of like it's underneath water, in the fact that there's like a ripple going through this area as you get closer to it.
Ortega is gonna go and look back at what Ari had found the day before at like the broken vase or whatever, and he's just gonna kind of look around there. Since Tati's looking at the wall, I'm gonna look in here and see if there's any indication of what might be needed.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Natural 20.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you
D&D Beyond likes this character.
You notice that on the back wall behind this table where the vase once was, and you see the text that was on that wall, and it seems to be glowing red, and it wasn't glowing red before. You notice that there's pieces of the vase that have hit against this wall at the back, and it feels as though that the table itself kind of seems to be able to shift one way or the other. It's not like it's stuck in there. It's almost as if you were to push the table or pull the table, it might trigger something. You know.
Do I notice any traps with that natural 20?
The trap was the vase.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I found that. I found that already.
Got it.
Ortega's going to look behind him and see that Ari's standing there and say, Ari, help me move this, would you?
I'm scared to touch anything. What happened?
You already set off the trap. This table isn't stuck in place and it will move. Let's move it.
What do you mean I set off a trap? Like, what happened?
I feel very strange. I feel like I have been through a lot, and all I remember is touching a vase and then getting up off of the floor.
The vase was the trap, I heard.
What happened?
Ortega, with your natural 20, sorry, I should mention that. With your natural 20, you do still feel as though that the vase has some magical charge to it. So the pieces, likely you don't want to touch.
Whatever you do, don't touch the vase.
No, I feel like that's a lesson learned.
It sucked your soul out.
Oh my God. I'm standing.
And then you died.
I will help you move the table. I'm not trying to be a stickler for moving us forward, but last I checked, things changed a bunch, and I want to know what happened to my soul.
It got sucked into the vase. Then Parrish made a deal with his god to give himself up, because the last thing, it was all in his own language that we don't speak.
Well, then I feel like this might be a meta
That
conversation.
he ended up turning around to us and basically saying goodbye.
This does raise. Sorry, go ahead.
And before I could do anything, he was gone, limp in my arms, and you were taking breath. And then not 5 minutes later, Talus walked in through the door that was still there and came back, and Parrish was alive and she was chained. That's what happened. Now, Tati thinks there's something up with that wall. I think that moving this table is going to trigger something that may open said wall. So we're going to move the table.
I'm a little... Ortega, you know me. We've been through some things, but I am feeling afraid to touch another thing in this room. No, never mind. No, sorry. Sorry, never mind. Let's move the table. On the count of 3, let's grab it together.
Sure, you can.
1, 2, 3. And I start lifting the table and moving it in the space that Ortega directed. Hopefully he helps me, and hopefully I don't get eaten by another soul-eating piece of furniture.
So I need both of you to make strength checks for me, please.
Athletics?
Athletics.
Sorry, athletics or strength, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's athletics.
Dirty 20.
I'm really sorry. When I was restarting my computer with all that nonsense, which still hasn't worked out, I closed D&D Beyond. Here it is. Strength, which is a plus 8. Oh no, my athletics is a plus 3. Screw that. That's an 11.
Okay.
That's an 11.
So between you and Ortega, as you try to lift this table, you realize it doesn't budge. It's almost as if it resists against both of you.
Can I see where the resistance is from? Is it linked into a switch on the floor, or is it just nailed to the floor?
It seems to be not so much connected to the floor at all.
This is something magical. Part of me wants to try and identify again, but last time that went really, really badly.
You don't have to touch it to identify it, right?
I feel like I do.
Did you think that maybe it's a push and not a lift?
Sure, Tati, I'll push it.
Yeah, no, I've got to touch it to identify, but do you want to try and lift it up together?
Well, instead of pulling it, Ortega's just going to start leaning into the table to try and push it forwards.
I'll start pulling it back in the same direction to assist.
So you guys are pushing and pulling to no avail. Tatiana, I need you to make a sleight of hand check for me, please.
23.
So as these two big guys are trying to push and they're pulling and pushing and pulling, you look at them and you decide, I'm just going to give it just a slight nudge to the right. And you just see this thing just ever so casually goes as the back wall, not the wall that Tatiana was looking at, the back wall goes.
Oops, I think I did something. And I'm gonna give you both like the biggest shit-eating grin ever.
Ari lowers his mask to show you a grin of such appreciation. And he also leans back to Ortega and says, I feel like we fixed it. And puts his mask back up over his mouth and proceeds.
Ari, We worked together there like we did that one time in that one bar. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The one where I was talking shit to the... Actually, he was pretty small. He was about your size. And he started talking shit back to me. And out of left field, you just came over and clocked him.
Yeah, admittedly, that was like 3 different bars, but there has also been about 50 overall. I do recall that time, and I do recall it being fun to back you up for once, which I feel like, as much as Lady Tatiana has done the honors, I do feel like that was a teamwork effort, well worth obliging. And he holds out a hand. He gives it like a clap and an affectionate pop, and moves along. Come on, man.
And then Ortega's gonna look at Tati and go, "We could have got that."
Oh, of course. If, I had waited a couple more hours, you may have.
No.
So, do we go down the obvious doorway, or does somebody want to put their head through the make-believe wall over here?
Who's good at speaking about detective? I have seen bad things happen to people trying to see brazenly.
You did the last magic thing, Ari. I'll put my head through the damn wall.
No, I feel like that's a poor idea. Well, I mean, you can take a ton of damage.
And Ortega's gonna walk over and...
Okay, bye.
Just...
I think it's a fair time to mention, sorry, whatever my role was here before, I no longer feel any connection with any sort of deity. If you were to, well, I don't believe I would be bringing anyone back, no matter the cost. Further to the point, I do want to get out of here with you all. I'm not sure what I can really bring to the table right now. And lastly, might be helpful. What in the hell are we doing in this dungeon? Risking our lives? I'm sorry, I'm not sure I had a good sense of it coming in here. I certainly don't have a good sense of it now, and I would just very much like to safely get out of here with all of you at some point before we go charging down hallways.
Ortega is ready to headbutt the wall.
Mind the wall, just have a moment. It's worth us all being on the same page.
If you don't mind.
I think that Talus should tell him, considering she's carrying them.
I do think that makes the most sense moving forward. Parrish, let's rest a moment. Lament, please.
So the way I see it, we have 2 options. We can go back the way we came, see if we can get those doors open, and we can walk out safe and sound, little to no risk of anyone else dying. Or we can press on and hope to learn more about these jewels. And he gestures to the jewels that are around her neck.
Oh, you're wearing them now.
Okay.
You've had them on for a while now, Raven.
I thought they were in your pack.
You think a lot of things about me, Ortega.
You're not wrong.
If we press on, perhaps we learn something new about these jewels. Perhaps we learn more about what we should do with them, or where they should go next, or the location of other powerful objects. Who knows? I am of the opinion that we press on, but I'm also not particularly interested in making decisions for the party. And I would just like to clarify for everyone present that was not ever my intention to make decisions for any of you. I think Tatiana put it best. I trust, or I hope I can trust, all of you to make decisions for yourselves. And if we come to an agreement that serves all of us, better for it. But I'm not here to tell any of you what to do. And if any of you want to leave, that is well within your right.
Ray walks up to Captain Talus, closer than usual, and says, "Don't worry, you weren't making decisions for everybody, and I choose to stay just as is. But please don't burden yourself any longer."
A couple of things there, Talus, darling. Number one, sounds atrociously boring. And who goes back? That's the quitters, and I'm not a quitter. 2 sounds way more fun and way more interesting. I'd love to learn more about your jewels. Now, which door do we take? And 3, Parrish, since you don't seem like the Parrish we knew, out of curiosity, how does your weapon feel in your hand?
Not a bad question, as we seem to be shifting it.
I think Parrish would just kind of glance down at where it was dropped and broke on the floor. It hasn't been touched since the night prior. It didn't really seem right to pick up. I have these. Pulls a long black knife from his bag. But honestly, it doesn't really feel right in the hand. I think I'd prefer to keep it in the pack for now.
So, what does feel right? Bare hands, a gun, a sword?
Italy, you have and I appreciate that you let us know that you might no longer be able to bring us back from death and near. But between me and Parrish, I'm used to relying on you. I'm just wondering what I could rely on you for now.
Look, I'm sorry. I certainly don't want to be a burden to anyone here. But no, knife doesn't feel good in my hands. The thought of picking up a sword doesn't either. No.
Pistol?
There's no magic at my fingertips. Haven't held a gun in my entire life that I can remember. Don't really want to start now.
Well, let me put it this way for you, Parrish. You brought Ari back, whether you intended to or not. You're no burden to us.
Oh, no, and I don't mean to make it sound like he's a burden. That was not my intention at all. I'm just suggesting that if someone has an extra weapon that may feel right, we lend it to Parrish. But if he wants to go in and, all fisticuffs, I'm down for that too.
If it's all right with all of you, I'm still kind of trying to figure out a few things myself, but I promise I won't abandon you. Just if I'm not sure I can do anything doesn't mean I won't try.
Just stick close to me and I'll watch your back.
Thank you.
Sorry, let's proceed onward. We're rested.
Okay, door number 1, door number 2.
Door number 1.
Well, we don't know how to open door number 2.
Well, I feel like let's take a gander.
Does nobody else see the ripple effect?
Pardon?
When you stare at the wall, there's a ripple effect. And
We're just going to look at the wall and see if there's a ripple effect.
Yeah, you guys
that
in that case, Ortega is going to rage and swell up. He's going to race on the side of the wall and just and headbutt the wall, the rippling wall.
So as you headbutt the wall, you don't feel anything. It just feels as though you pass through air.
Oh, so he totally just goes stumbling forward. He doesn't fall over, but he definitely stumbles through this wall then.
Was he not listening?
Ortega stumbles through that wall. You turn around, you take a look, and it is a solid stone wall on your side, Ortega. And all you can hear is the sound of your heart beating. For all intents and purposes, you are deafened in this room. No one can hear him from the other side.
After looking back at the stone wall, Ortega is going to turn around and look into whatever room or hallway he has stumbled into, thanking God that he's raged.
Well, children, anybody else want to go through the mystery door?
You guys also, you guys don't know that Ortega can't come out.
No, I'm walking. Ortega went through?
We'll shout Ortega.
I already walked through.
So Ari walks through.
Makes 2 out of 5.
Ari, are you there?
Same thing with Ari. There's nothing. But
okay,
Ari,
well,
you see Ortega.
Well, no one else is going through that wall until we hear from them.
Oh, yeah, no, that doesn't work for me. Because I'm very curious, and I have to go through. Captain?
Ortega's gonna... Where'd he go?
I mean, I can't say no to an invitation like that.
No.
All right, Parrish.
I would
Grab
happily
your
go
things.
next.
Oh, we can all go at once.
stay
Looks
out
like
here?
big enough
Should
door, and
someone
we're all
stay
fairly small.
Fine, we can at least hold hands in the way through then. Look, if we're going out, we can go out with style.
I don't really hold hands.
Just this once.
Fine. If that will get you through the door, then yes, I will hold your hand, and I will tell everyone that you were a little scared, and I pull you through the wall.
You're welcome to.
So as Tatiana pulls you through, she starts singing like, "Oh my God, you guys, guess what? Parrish is it?" And then as she passes through, nothing. All she hears, everyone else is just the people that are already in there. As you're being passed through, you hear her voice literally disappear as she gets in there and pulls you in. And she finishes what she says, but Ari and Ortega didn't hear a word of it. As Tatiana is the last, or as Talus is the last one on the other side of the door, which is weird to her because she heard you start talking and then just completely stop talking.
Ortega is going to turn around and look at Ari and just motion to him to stand back to back with him and watch behind them as he starts moving forwards down the hall, basically having one hand on the back of Ari's belt loop to basically help pull him along down the hallway while he's looking backwards.
He holds his six. Sounds cool to say.
Gee, we leave you alone for 2 minutes and you're already touching each other's butts.
They still can't hear that.
If I could hear that, I would simply stay. And to be honest, Ari's probably simply already saying out loud, it's just strategic maneuver. It's just a strategic maneuver.
Talus, do you go through?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think she was holding Parrish's other hand.
Oh, okay. So for four of you, you hear your heart beating, and that's the only sound that you hear.
Tati just doesn't hear nothing. Oh, wait, no, it's the other guy. It's the other guy. He hears nothing.
I didn't say it. As you progress down the corridor, Tatiana, you're still kind of like talking and blabbing away, and you think that everyone's just kind of ignoring you. But then it starts to dawn on you that you see other people talking as well, and there's just nothing coming out of their mouths. And over time, you get the understanding that they just literally can't hear you.
Well, this is stupid. Now nobody's going to hear my great ideas. Talk to myself then. I'm just gonna.
Ortega's thinking to himself, I just said I was going to be at the back and I'm already still at the front. This is stupid.
Eric's just going to put his hands up, get everyone's attention, and take out 20 feet of rope from his bag, tie two together. 5 first, rope, second, rope, and start tying off little handholds for everyone.
Tati's immediately wondering if we are in kindergarten going on a field trip.
Parrish will, take a second to write out a note that says, "Dope's on a rope."
Whereas Ortega hasn't looked back down the hallway since he grabbed Ari and is just going to continue to walk forward, dragging Ari.
If Ari slips one of the knot loops into your hand where it's holding my belt, then take your hand off of his belt. Because yes, please.
And Ortega's just going to keep walking down the hall, dragging this rope until he gets to this opening, I guess.
So as you guys daisy chain your way along down this hallway, and I know on the map it's really short, but it's actually a pretty long hallway. You travel for about 100 feet or so down straight, and then it turns to the right, and you see about 100 feet away a flicker of light. It's very tiny. It seems as though this hallway opens up into a larger room, and as you progress on further down towards the room, I'm just gonna move you guys all up here so I can reveal your lights. It opens up into a very large chamber, very similar in the sense of the structure of the previous room you were just in. However, you do notice a couple unique things in this room, and it reeks of death and incense. You see to the west there's an open archway that leads into a small side room, and to the north is a hallway. It seems to be flanked by 2 statues of swollen, worm-bodied abominations, each with 3 arms and a hairless head of a howling, fang-toothed man wearing a crown of spikes. The hallway past the statues is lined with dozens of curved, quivering blades and ends at a double door. Mounted above the double doors is an 8-inch tall canister made of translucent crystal. And you can't see that on a map. Sorry, one sec. What's going on?
So Ari is drawn to investigate a few things, and who's our best investigator? Honestly, let's not kid ourselves. Who's the best at this?
Almost definitely Tatiana.
Most definitely. Can we hear each other once we've stepped into this room?
Nope.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
maybe.
So I'm assuming I would already know that. I would know that. Oh no!
Yeah.
Can I give bardic inspiration if no one can hear me?
How's your pantomime?
Like medium?
Unfortunately, any vocal.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, anything vocal or audible is not going to be able to be used in this chamber.
Ortega would like to take a quick look around to see if he can see any traps from where he is or areas that he shouldn't go.
You don't have to roll on this one, just because of what I stated earlier. So you do see the corridor north of the statues. It has twitching silver blades protruding from its walls. They are razor sharp, and as you kind of look around a little bit in the room, you realize that you notice that the floor is somewhat tilted in this corridor. So if you were to stumble and fall into this corridor at any chance, at any time, there's a high risk of impalement. You look around and you see that these statues are there's something written in Undercommon on them, but other than that, nothing. Or aside from the other door, nothing seems to have been very out of place like the skull vase was, or there's no mirage doors or anything like that.
Are the walls just blank, or is there murals, or?
There are no murals on these walls, no.
I'm going to gesture to Parrish and try to get his attention. And then I'm going to point at the statues and point to his eyes to see if he can read the Undercommon.
I can read Undercommon, and I rolled a 20 religion check if that does anything for you, Kyle.
Absolutely. So the phrase that's written below the statues reads, "Revel in the pain you inflict on others. Relish the pain you suffer yourself as an offering to the crawling king." You know a little bit with that religion check being as high as it is. You know a little bit about who the crawling king is. And
Would you drop the text of that in the chat?
I can do that.
When you get a second.
Yeah. So you take a look at these statues and you realize that these are depictions of Torog, the crawling king, the god of enslavement and torture.
Well, I hate that. I have pen and paper. I'll borrow some from Ari because he was writing music, and I will write out what it says there for everyone.
Ortega is going to shake his head a little bit, thinking he knows exactly what needs to be done, and he doesn't really want to do it.
He writes what he wrote in the chat, which says, "The god of enslavement and torture." That guy probably sucks. Now, you listed a number of indicators in the outset of the room. You mentioned a statue. You mentioned a few other things. Did he already do? I guess the crawling king is the statue with the crown. That makes sense. Relish in the pain you suffer on yourself as an offering. The crawling king. Is there an opening somewhere around here that might seem like obvious? So I'm thinking that this has been used for some kind of secret ceremonies or some sort of thing, or some sort of stuff for the crawling king. But we can't taunt. Relish the pain you suffer as a crawling king. Revel in the pain you inflict on others. Do we have to be happy to hurt each other and be hurt? Like, I'm gonna take out. It's muted in here, eh? Part of me wonders, and this is just me guessing out loud. But if he hears a sad song that hurts to sing and hurts to hear, both it would break through the muting. If it could hear it or not, it just can't hear it. It's all mute. Maybe we have to attack each other.
We step further into this room.
I think Ortega is going to stare down the hallway with the blades.
Okay.
Talus wants to.
What's the deal with the twitching blades?
They be twitching.
I'm gonna walk over to the arch on the west and peer into that kind of area and see if that looks less threatening than the murder hallway.
Okay.
FYI, to get away, you're gonna have to let go of your rope.
Yeah, Ortega would have just dropped it because he was never tied to it.
So you see, as you walk.
Is there any way I could sleight of Kyle? I'm so sorry to interrupt. Is there any way that Ari could have sleight of handed tied the end of the rope to Ortega's belt without him noticing?
He would have dragged the whole party with him because he is 14 and a half feet tall.
I'm just saying, fine. I'm just gonna tie it to him. They can let go.
You can do a sleight of hand check and against his perception.
You know what? Never mind. It's not like we're gonna lose track of him.
Yeah.
We're good.
It's like you can definitely do it. Like I'm not gonna stop you from doing it.
Let's not tie a rope to a giant. He's already a giant. I'm just a safety first kind of person. But let's continue.
Okay, so Talus, as you walk into this other room, or you look into this other room, you do see that it's an empty room. It looks to have been a torture room or a holding area. You do see that there's a large metal gate off to the back end of this room, and you see about 3 or 4 torches that are still lit as they're flickering on the walls. You do see that there is a lever to open up the gate, but in terms of what's on the other side of the gate, you cannot tell.
I'm gonna join Ortega.
Ortega is going to look around behind him and notice that Tati's there, and he's just going to point down the hallway.
I'm gonna raise my eyebrow at him, look down the hallway, and kind of gesture after you.
He's going to kind of nod his head a little bit, dash to the other end of the hallway.
I will remind you that you are 14 feet tall and you're going into a murder hallway.
These hallways are still 20 feet tall, right?
The hallways are, this hallway in specific is different. This hallway.
How big is this hallway?
It's about 10 feet by 10 feet. It's enough for you guys to go 2 by 2 or 1 through the middle at a time.
You have to crawl, probably, if you're a giant. Oh, yeah. I follow Ortega's ass?
Ortega, at this point, is actually going to motion to Tati that he can't go down that hallway currently.
I'm gonna point at him. You small. Come on.
Alice is gonna throw a rock at Ortega.
Doesn't even flinch.
Down the hall, like
she's gonna wave.
As he's looking away from me, I'm gonna smack him like, "Hello, I'm trying to talk to you."
He's Ari's just doing this. just shaking his head, disapprove.
Alice is gonna throw another rock at Ortega.
Ortega, ignoring her the first time, is going to turn around and go, "What do you want?"
He's gonna gesture to the room beside her and mime pulling a lever and then point.
All right.
I'm sorry, your fists went up and then your screen and you went.
He wants you to pull the lever.
I'm trying to figure out what she's doing by copying her.
Ortega's just gonna walk over and go, "Huh?"
Alice is gonna
over. No. Ari comes
roll
over.
her eyes.
Alice did. This is what he's gonna do. Okay, ready?
At this point, Talus is just gonna try to pull the lever herself.
Ortega's standing right next to you. Once he sees you reach for a lever, he would grab the lever. He just didn't know the lever was there.
My work is going to be lost on the online audience so hard.
Oh yeah, all the miming is unfortunately lost.
I literally took a week and a half of mime training.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, it was fine.
I pulled the lever.
Okay. As
Kronk would pull the lever.
As Kronk does. I'm going to put you guys in the room. How many people are going into said room?
Certainly don't like it in here. Ari would follow.
I am still standing by the more dangerously appealing looking hallway, apparently.
Okay.
Staring at them, wondering what the hell is going on.
To be honest, I think right now Ari is sticking with Ortega generally.
Okay.
Ortega doesn't need to keep his hand on Ari's belt. Ari stays as close.
Okay. I'm assuming Parrish is is staying with probably in that room right now, not like in the main room, I'm assuming, and I'm just putting everyone where they need to be.
Sorry, which wall is the lever on?
So the lever is located just close to the door, kind of in between, like in the archway entrance area, pretty much like right beside Ortega if it was beside his right. And
Ortega, before he pulls the lever, is going to look at Talus and mouth the words, "If we die, it's your fault," and then pull the lever. That was not as big of an eye roll as I was expecting.
See, be careful.
Oh
if
my
actually
God.
eye rolls too hard, it becomes real life vicious mockery, and then you just crash your car the next day.
Yeah.
Careful, Ashley. You got powers.
Tati's just upset that she couldn't get Ortega to unrage to run down a hallway that was most definitely gonna hurt.
I'm just wondering why I was left behind.
I guess.
You're welcome to join us.
You watched me walk over there.
So as the
I expected you to come back.
Maybe
As-
Tatiana, some of us don't need to.
as Ortega pushes the lever from the right side to the left side, this metallic gate, this portcullis, kind of about halfway or so. It seems to be it's I would say about a total of 10 feet high, just enough to let people in and out. There's whatever, it's a security measure. And on the other side, you see this room is crusted with dried blood. You see that the walls are lined with hooks, spiked whips, and other implements of torture or self-flagellation. And you see slouched in a corner is the desecrated human body in some form of acolyte's robes. And as that metal gate opens, the flames poof, 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 shut down as the room goes dark, and they light up again, and you see 3 flaming skulls now spinning around the desecrated body. And for those of you that are in the room, I'm gonna need you to roll initiative.
No. Holy story language. Holy. Oh no. Stomachate. Oh no. Floating skulls. Oh no. That's great. You know what?
2 combats in a row. Ortega has rolled a nat 1 for a 3.
Dead body's scary. Desecrated body makes me feel really uncomfortable, especially when surrounded by floating skulls. What monster that is? Not. Oh, I am in the room. Wait, I'm in that room?
You're in that room.
Thought you meant the other room. 15 plus 3, 19.
Okay. And-
Kyle, I still have not updated the code on my new computer yet to get the initiative tracker.
I got it for you.
Great.
Ortega,
Let's figure that out offline another time, though.
Yeah, Ortega, what was your? It was 3.
Yeah, I rolled a nat 1.
Awesome, cool. I love that for you.
I'm pre-raged. It's all good. I am going to zoom in on this room, though.
So with that being said, the first person up, maybe the closest, because you were so far back, Ari, you see the poof 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 as these 3 flaming skulls light up around the corpse. You're up first.
Well, as a rule, I don't care for that at all. So I will first, as my action, I'm going to try shooting one of the skulls directly in the face.
Yeah, go to attack.
15, a 7 for a 22 to hit.
That'll hit.
Wait, gotta grab my D10 story, man. Come on, giant bag of dice. How hard would it be to find a D10? Here we go. That's a 5 plus 2 for 7 points of piercing damage.
And which one, just so I know that you're attacking?
Oh, story. I'm gonna pick the one that is up front. Up front takes the hit.
In front of Talus.
So bottom left corner in front of Chalice.
Yep. Okay.
And then I'm gonna do some movement. I'm gonna bring Ari over to this corner of the room to still have eyes. I believe I can still clearly hit at least 2 of them without hitting Ortega from that position in the doorway there, right?
Oh yeah, it's a pretty open area. Now it is the only difference. The only thing is though is like they're kind of on level with the gate. So if they move up, you won't be able to shoot through the gate. But if they move down, obviously, yeah. Like you were able to shoot because you were like straight in front of one when you shot. She shot through the gate. But at an angle, your shot's gonna be, they're gonna have actually cover with their shots.
And I'm going to take my second shot then. Actually, no, I'm not taking a second shot. Instead, is Niall listening at all? Because I'm about to give him some inspiration. Yeah, there we go. Because Ortega takes a moment to, Ari takes a moment to look over to Ortega and just sings, hit him with your best shot, hit him with your best shot, hit him with your best shot, you big giant face, and gives him bardic inspiration.
Does he need to hear you?
I would have known that.
You would have known that
before. Oh, well, dang then. In that case, I like that song.
It's a good song.
Well, I did my best. 2-weapon fighting. Bonus action to shoot him again. That's what it is then. Double shot, pop up. Natural 20. Shit, yes!
Woo!
Okay.
All right.
Okay, natural 20, so that's a crit. For my D10 here, that's a 10. That's crazy. I'm gonna shoot it so hard in the face. That's a 10, doubled for 20, and then I get my modifier, which is a +2. So that's 22 points of damage to the one I shot, for a total of, I don't know, a decent amount of damage. Shooting things is fun.
Perfect. It's still floating around, unfortunately. But with your...
Was it damage? Was it damage?
It's hard to tell. I mean, it's a skull and it's on fire. You definitely like shot chunks off the skull for sure. But your natural 20 was more so for your accuracy because of the fact that you were shooting at an angle. You basically kind of ricocheted off of the metal gate and ptink, as it landed through the, it was an amazing trick shot for sure. Ending your turn brings us to Talus.
Okay, are they floating at a level that I can hit them with something? Like, are they within, can I get within melee range of them?
Yes, you can get within melee range, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna close with, I guess, the one that Ari already shot. And then I'm gonna hit it with my axe. It's really hard, probably. Oh my god. Okay, that should be fine still. Okay, one of those is an 18 and one of those is a 15.
They both hit.
Yay. And then we're gonna hit really hard. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's amazing. So that's 11 damage and 11 damage, so 22 damage.
Okay. It goes down.
Yay.
As it goes down, it lets off a small miniature explosion of flame, as it is a necrotic glowing energy, and it just poof. And because you were within melee range of it, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Oh, that's the worst one though. It's actually not. I'm okay. Okay.
Floating skulls are the worst kind of skulls.
You said there was a 14?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you technically save, but you do still take some damage.
Yeah. No.
So it was 8 total. It's one dice is necrotic and then 2 are fire damage. So it's 4 and 4. So you would take 2 necrotic and you would take technically 2 fire damage as it just poof, and you feel this flaming swirl of necrotic energy kind of singe at your face a little bit, and you feel it. You're able to kind of brush it away rather easily. You do still obviously singe your hairs a little bit, but other than that. And is that ending your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Brings us to the...
I rolled in at a 14, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry for being MIA.
That's okay. So this is just happening inside the room. You are still kind of with Lady Tatiana, and because there's no audio, you can't hear anything going on the other side of the wall.
Can I make a perception check for Ari's muzzle flash? Is that a fair? Because that would be a visual indicator, even if I'm not looking that direction.
You're absolutely right. We'll do at the top of the round. You can make your perception check, and then if it is, well, we can add you into into the initiative. But it does bring us to the very topmost of the flame skull, and it's just gonna look at you guys, and it kind of like, and its jaw protrudes outwards as this large mouth gapes this giant ball of fire. And you see the three of you just as it vomits a fireball in this room. And
That's bad.
You got fireballs?
I need you all to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please, as it's going to hit all of you.
I'm a tiefling. Do I have something about? I have resistance to fire damage.
You do, yes. So you will. You do have a passive fire resistance. You will take half the damage of the fire.
Okay.
But you do still have to make the roll. You can either take 50% or 25%.
Okay. Rolling my bloody die.
Yeah. Yeah, I got an 8 on that one.
Sorry, Kyle. What was the?
I got a 12, Kyle.
Okay. So
Kyle, was it a what save?
It was dexterity.
It's a dex save, Ari.
Next save 12. Thank you.
So the save that you have to beat.
Sorry, I rolled a 12 plus 2. I forgot to add, so 14 for it.
You're lucky because the save to beat is a 13. Which means, unfortunately, so I'm just going to roll the full amount right now.
You don't have to do that. You can just not.
So it's 27.
Hey guys, let's
27 points of fire damage, and that's either halved or quartered for those of you that either saved or have resistance.
You just get the resistance. I didn't save, and you said it was 12 points.
So yeah, it's 27 divided by 2.
It's 13.
It's 13. Yeah. So for those of you that saved,
Because that's what I put it.
yeah. But I think poor dear Talus kind of took the full
I'm
brunt.
doing so good.
Luckily for it, though, that's the end of its turn. That's all it can do. Which brings us to the next one.
If that thing fireballs us, I'm gonna be so mad.
Hey, Talus, guess what it does?
Oh my god.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I got messed up in my settings trying to fix it, and I forgot what my half damage was. I'm really sorry. I just
13.
forget. I apologize.
13.
Thank you. All good. Thanks.
All good, buddy.
You
Thanks,
see
man.
this glowing flame skull as the mouth starts to gape open and the jaw drops as another ball of fire comes hurtling towards you guys. And I need you to make another dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Oh my god. Yeah, that one's better. That's an 18.
Yeah, 20.
I rolled a natural 1.
No.
Ouch.
Well, luckily for you, you still have that resistance, but I think that's still considered
You got resistance.
it's technically an auto fail, but you still save anyways, so it's not like you take extra damage.
Oh.
So
Tieflings rule.
the amount of damage
They're
total
amazing.
was 28 points of damage.
Oh my god.
But that is halved for all of you for a total of 14.
Still got 53 hit points.
And that ends its turn. Brings us to Ortega.
17.
Ortega is going to run up to the one that acted first.
Okay.
Well, probably the one that's closest. The one that's closest to him. I can't use my screen right now, obviously. He's going to draw both Father's Hatred and one of his scimitars off of his arm. He's just going to go to town. 18 for the first one to hit and 12 for the second one to hit.
So the second one is not going to hit, but the first one will.
Okay. So Father's Hatred is going to hit. We're going to expend one of its charges.
I'm using demon swords, man.
Yeah, so let me just find my dice roller. For 17 points of damage,
Okay.
8 of which is necrotic.
Okay, so you do notice that the necrotic damage is resistant.
Okay.
So what was the total? Sorry.
So if you 17, so it'd be 13 that it takes.
Okay. Perfect.
And then Ortega's going to action surge.
Yeah. All right.
And he is going to do it again. First one misses.
Okay.
But the second one hits.
Hits with what? Sorry.
A 19.
Okay. Yeah, you're good.
It was higher than the previous one. So I meant to auto crit the first one, but I forgot. So still do the same thing. So it takes 15 points of damage because the necrotic I rolled was 1, so it still takes the 1 damage.
Yep.
Well, I gotta say, watching you crush D&D while rocking a baby to sleep is this unique form of balanced excellence.
It is. And that ends Ortega's turn, which brings us to the
Parenting goals.
Top of the round. Parrish, you would have noticed 2 fireball blasts. You probably would have felt the heat, and the first, you notice the muzzle flash. But we're just gonna try to see if you don't nat 1 this perception check.
It could happen. I just imagine like muzzle flash. What was that? Fire.
He's paying such close attention with his cleric wisdom perception. He's like, was that a muzzle flap?
That's a 10.
Okay, you do successfully, like, the muzzle flash you don't see right off the bat, and then you turn and you look to see, and then you see whoosh whoosh within like 12 seconds. So that will put you into the turn order at 14. That's totally fine.
Perfect.
Use that initiative. Tatiana, what are you doing at the top of this? Like, this has been only about like 10, maybe like 36 seconds or so. What are you deciding to do?
I don't think I'm in any visual range of them.
You would have noticed a little bit of heat, but that's about it.
Enough to be like to question it, or it's just like, ooh, I'm warm. That's cozy.
You would be an odd thing for you. I think you would question it, only be considering the fact that like this whole time you have been like, it's been a cold dungeon, and then you just felt a random blast of warmth really quickly. I mean, I would personally.
All right. Yeah. If it's naturally cold in there and then all of a sudden warmth from the general direction of everybody else, I'm just going to like roll my eyes, kind of sigh to myself. All right, fine. I'm coming. And walk towards them.
Okay, so I'm not going to put you in the initiative yet, because that would have been like your reaction to all of that happening, and so then you're only now reacting. So you will at the top of the next round. We'll put you in, and then
right there.
So
at the door.
Yeah, that puts you pretty much right there. Ari, you are up.
Take a walk my hair, Dad.
Don't let me first. I need to get out of here so badly. To take my shots. There's no stopping the hearing, anything. I can't. Would it cost an action or a bonus action to be like, hey, can I identify what's causing the deafness spell? Or would that already be covered in the general work we already did in the room? Probably. Never mind. We're in combat. I'm gonna shoot it. No. I'm really gonna focus on shooting it in the face instead. One attacking Ortega.
Okay.
Attack roll 3 plus 7 for a 10.
It's gonna miss.
It's 10 plus 7 for a 17.
Okay, so as you think that the 17 you think that it's gonna hit, you do see a quick flash of flame encompasses the skull just a little bit more, and your bullet disintegrates on impact as it casts shield on itself, raising its AC to 18.
He mouths to himself, though muted, clever girl, and it's there. You gotta. Bonus action, shoot again. I'll take a second shot at my gun there. Oh no, I already did. It was a 3 to 10. Those are both my shots. I gotta run. To take off back here. No, I'm gonna take off sort of I want to try and keep an angle in on the room. This is my. No, I'm running away. I'm gonna go down to the corner here, make room for everybody else. Can I take this ultimate corner space, or do I have to go? Can I go here, or do I have to go over here, Al?
You can take the corner space. It's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna go there and anchor myself in the corner, and that's it. That's all I got.
Okay, ending your turn. It brings us to Parrish.
All right, not exactly sure what happened in here, But knowing everyone's in danger, I'm gonna move here. I'm gonna take out my halfling sling, put a stone off the floor in it, and whip it up to speed. And when Talus goes to strike, I'm going to give her the help action.
Okay.
Basically just loose my stone at the thing, trying to knock it just before she strikes.
Okay. And that's ending your turn?
Ending my turn.
Okay. Talus, you have advantage from the help action on your attack to hit.
I actually love advantage so much. That's great. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is second wind. Do I know how to do that? If this is a 1, I'm done. It was an 8. All right, so I get 9 hit points back, which I need. And then I think I'm just gonna hit it. Well, no, I'll just hit it with my axe again. And I have advantage on this.
Yes, you do.
Oh, good. I needed it because that was a nat 1. So that is a 21.
21 will hit. Yep.
And then, okay, that's bad, but that's 6 damage.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's it. Brings us to the flaming skull that cast the fireball the first time. It is going to assess the room. It will stay where it is, and it's going to focus on Talus as it shoots its fire ray, and it's going to do 14 to hit.
That just misses. Thank you, Jewel of 3 Prayers.
Okay. 16 to hit.
Okay, yeah, for sure, yeah, that gets
and the last one, 8, will not hit. So 16, so 1 thing of damage. You take 15 points of fire damage as
blasted backwards. And I'm down.
Talus is down?
No.
Okay.
Wait, how would you down? I'm not even at half yours.
Oh, I hate that.
That's not good. That ends its turn. The flaming skull that is in front of Ortega is going to move back 1, which would allow Ortega to take attack of opportunity if he...
Excellent. I will take it.
Yep, go ahead.
I'm going to use Father's Hatred's Paternal Pain ability to auto-crit.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Let me just pull that up. I got a baby in my arm again. Actually, we might be no, because I started talking.
Is there a better irony than auto-critting as a gigantic barbarian while rocking a baby to sleep?
Josh, can you roll a 1d12 for me?
100%, buddy.
Make him do it.
I always have his backup dice rolls. Hey, there's a 10.
A 10? Oh, that's not good.
Yes. Is that not good?
No, that's how many I lose.
It's half.
Oh, no.
No. I lose that many hit points from my maximum until my next long rest.
I got you.
But then I auto-crit, so...
All right, Holmes.
So that is 18 plus 7 plus 7 is 35. 32 points of damage, minus the 4 necrotic, so 29-ish.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, it's dead. And before you take your second attack...
I don't get a second attack on attack of opportunity.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So then technically, as it's trying to vacate, you smack it down with the father's hatred, and the paternal pain causes it to shrill up as it also explodes. And anyone who was in melee range has to make a Constitution saving throw.
I also need to grab its soul with my piece.
You can use your reaction. Yeah, this one
18 for my save.
And I do believe that that's technically a fail on a death fail for Talus.
I was gonna ask, but then I was like, what if he just forgets and then I don't have to say anything? Okay, fine, whatever.
So that's a failure on her end. But yeah, Ari, you can totally absorb the soul. I
read the description. It doesn't say that it's an action or a reaction. I think it's a relationship with the father's hatred blade itself.
It is, but it has to. It does have to be used as a reaction. If
then I would like to use my reaction to do so.
Yeah.
I use my reaction. Did I use my reaction?
Yeah, you can use a reaction.
Oh, sorry. Did I use my reaction already?
No.
Is what I'm saying.
No,
I want to make sure I didn't already use it. Okay, great. Okay, then I'm going to use my reaction, please. And I'm going to be deeply uncomfortable capturing the soul of a flaming demon skull.
Okay.
Pretty metal.
So this one would technically, this one would be able to give you like just a full summon undead. Like it is literally an undead, so you're able to pull it out. So whichever one you want to use for that one specifically is fine. So you use your reaction to suck up this soul as this flame just and the locket opens up. I'm gonna have to change the wording on that spell because it does say actually has an action, which doesn't make sense. I meant reaction. It's as an action to use.
Can I look over at Ortega as he does this massive death blow, oversized with this just incredible power? Look over to him, and it's like an awareness, but like he just sees that I'm a bit worried. That's all.
Oh yeah, you definitely be worried because his arm is like black again.
And so for the explosion damage, it's 2 necrotic, 2 fire for you. And that is the ending of its turn, which then brings us to Ortega.
There's still one left?
There is still one left, yeah.
Cool. Reckless. I'll walk up to it. Reckless. Sorry, my computer decided it wanted to sleep, much like Decker. So I will whack. 26 to hit.
That'll do it.
And 16 to hit. Oh, but that was the first one. I did Reckless, so I guess I got... And the second one is either a 12 or a 13, so the second one misses.
Okay.
But it's 18 points of damage as Father's hatred strikes true.
Okay. And is any of that necrotic?
I don't think so. Oh, yes, actually. So -2.
Okay. Cool. And does that end your turn?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. That brings us to the top of the round. At this point, Tatiana, you can roll your initiative. Okay.
And that would be a dirty 20. Ooh.
Hey, take it.
Very nice.
I will just stroll on in here, looking annoyed and bothered, and take a good old swing at this guy with my sword. Ooh. Okay, first one's just a 10. I don't think that hits.
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to try again. That's better. 18?
18 will hit.
All right. 13 points of damage.
Okay. And
you're like Lady Tatiana just walked in, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, glass breaks. It's like slow motion, and then just starts flashing the folks. Oh, awesome. That is so cool.
Brings us to Ari.
Oh, I'm alive still. Let's shoot things more. I'm gonna shoot it. I'm gonna shoot it twice. Action, bonus action. 3, which will miss. That's a 10.
Yeah.
By bonus, a 14 for a 21.
That'll hit. Yeah.
All right. 10 plus 2, 8 plus 2 for 10 points piercing damage. 2 shots.
Okay.
Ari at this point is like legitimately slumping against the wall, kind of Tom Hanks style.
It's still alive. Ending your turn brings it to Parrish.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying there. I'm not moving anywhere.
Okay.
I think Parrish bends down to pick up Talus to stabilize her, not really sure how, knowing that he used to be very adept at medicine, but just fumbling and unsure, having lost so much of that, and has a bit of a fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway moment. And I think it's the first semblance of an oath he can't yet speak out loud for various reasons. And he's going to pick Talus up with, let's give you 10 HP. That's plenty.
Okay.
With a lay on hands, which doesn't require verbal component.
Require verbal components.
Thank God.
That's so... The Ric Flair woo gif in the chat. 1 second.
And that ends your turn, Parrish.
Yeah, unless you give me a, use part of my movement to help Talus to her feet, or use my bonus action to help her to her feet, or anything like that.
You were right beside her. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll allow you to get her from prone. That's fine. Which then brings us to Talus.
Oh my god. No. I can't do any of the things that I want to do. They all require verbal components. I think Talus is going to get to her feet fakely with Parrish's help, and then do the only thing that she can do, which is immediately swing around and smack the skull with her axe again.
Okay. Yeah. You see you run up beside Ortega.
So the first attack is a 26 to hit.
That'll do it.
And then the second one is only a 12.
Well, let's do the damage on the first one.
Okay. That's gonna be a 9.
So as you get resurrected from being knocked unconscious with fire and flame and necrotic swirling energies, Parrish lifts you up and you just shake it off and go right back up and just as you stab through. And how do you want to do this?
I think I just want to so Talus carries 2 axes, and I think she just raises one up and then basically backhands it into the wall and sends it smashing into the stone.
Perfect. And that is the end of that. Clear all the turns, get rid of that for myself. All right. So as you all watch this flame die out, and because of the way she did dispatch it, the explosion takes place at the back wall and poof, no one is affected by the miniature explosion this time. As the real fires kick back, and you start to hear yourselves in the room once again.
Ortega's going to take a real big, deep breath and use second wind.
This is certainly going to be easier than having everyone hold on to the rope that they let go of 5 seconds after I made it.
I gotta say, it was a good idea. I tried to tie it onto you like a leash a bit, Ortega. I'm a little bit sorry, but it also makes me giggle. Also, everything hurts very badly.
Now that we can hear each other, I'm gonna look at Ortega, grab his arm, and be like, "You idiot!"
What? As Ortega's going to finally look around and just see that everybody else got absolutely obliterated by the fire. And then he's going to look at himself, and he's feeling actually pretty darn good still. And go, "Yeah, my bad. Talus wanted me to pull the lever."
Hey,
Admittedly, I did mime it with a great deal of authority.
if it's any consolation, this time, nobody died. Too soon?
And Ari just holds up his fingers like this close together. And then fishes
You all right, Talus?
a broken tooth out of his mouth, puts it in the ground.
Talus is going to take a deep breath and draw from her connection something more powerful than her, and she's going to cast False Life and give herself some temp HP. And she's just going to go, "I'm fine. It's fine. All right, what are we doing next?"
So with the room being clear, you do notice that this robed acolyte figure, this desecrated ancient skeletal being, you notice that there are no signs of life, magical or otherwise. Don't worry. But you do see something flicker on its person.
Everyone be careful. What if I used my cantrip of Mage Hand to try and lift it?
Yeah.
And I will do that. I will cast Mage Hand. And I will gently, telling everyone to back up, like everyone please, to back up out of the room. I will do the same. This thing has a blast radius. We might not have the ability to be making sacrifices for each other. Let's back up, shall we? I mean, we're all backed up. I will use the Mage Hand, pull the necklace off of the acolyte desecrated corpse.
Well, it's not a necklace that you see shimmer. It's
sorry.
Yeah,
The shimmer.
You go to pick up the shimmer. So as the mage hand slowly swirls over, you see that it finds a pouch, and this pouch has a very tiny clasp on it. And the mage hand is able to grapple onto the clasp as it brings it close to you. And you see inside the pouch is 22 gold pieces. There is 4 stoppered vials, so corked vials, that each contain an ounce of blood.
Do I know what kind? Is it labeled?
It's not labeled.
Okay, well, who labels blood anyway?
Right. And then there's also another thing on his person. You notice on the other side of his belt, after pulling the pouch off, you do see a dagger, and it is it's got a wooden handle. It's wrapped in black leather, and you see it's adorned with arcane symbols. It seems more so ceremonial in a sense, where the dagger doesn't seem sharp, but when you bring it closer to you, you do notice that even though it's very dull, it still has quite the nice little edge to it. And you being a tiefling, you feel as though that this dagger, while unsure what it does, you feel as though it doesn't want to be in your hands.
And when weapons have a mind of their own, I prefer to keep them closer and farther away. I will put it in my pocket, or I will put it in my bag. My pack. I'll keep it on my person. I will cast Identify later.
Okay, it's going. I'll put it. I'm not going to put it in inventory yet, but I do have the item for you.
Yeah, next time essentially we do a short or long rest, I'm going to cast Identify on that and hope it's not another vase.
So,
or another father's hatred.
Yeah, no kidding. With that being said, that was all that was in this room. You guys can talk amongst yourselves, and the other room seems to also have the ability to communicate in just the same.
I'm gonna walk over to Ari and just, if you don't oppose, can I have the vials, since I don't think anyone else wants them.
Well, here's the thing. You're a friend, and there's no judgment. But I also don't want to be responsible for giving you something tainted or additionally cursed. Having experienced the booby traps of this place, could we please, Tatiana, just wait, please. I will help you, and I am with you. But these are not safe. That's like finding drugs on a sidewalk and being, hey, I'm gonna try these. You need to be discerning and at least find your own. And I care about you too much to give you strange shit we found in a cavern. Not even.
Think of it this way. I am a very experienced user, and if I don't get those, I'm going to get it from somebody. And I'm just going to stare you dead in the eyes, like.
Ortega is going to walk by and go, I would just give her the vials. And he's going to walk out of the room. He might also actually pat Talus on the shoulder and say, that was much better, as he walks out of the room.
You can hold them for now. I do want them.
Understand.
And eventually, I'm not going to take no for an answer.
Eventually, we'll have a different conversation when it comes down to want, need, and risk. But until then, I hold these only out of care and honestly fear for what these things could be. Ajana, I died here.
That could be
I saw some weird things. And to be honest, I kind of need to talk with you about it, but this is not at the time or the place. But I will certainly not pass you an unlabeled vial of blood that we found here when I have already passed. Please, I need to talk with you later. You can't die until then. We get along. I carry on away from her.
I will walk over to the original hallway where Ortega looks to be standing again. So now that you can hear me, maybe let the rage go so you can fit down the hallway.
Just because I was offering to be the first one down the hallway doesn't mean I have to be the first one in the hallway.
True. Okay, I'll go. And I'll start slowly walking down the hallway, sort of scanning for like triggers or traps.
Okay, so as you start walking down the highway, or at the
is there any way that, no, I can't even see her. I also just kind of got in a fight with her, so I'm probably not going to give her.
Oh, she's really annoyed with you. She's really annoyed with you right now.
Yeah, I don't even think you'd accept it anyway. Okay, well, other than watching your friend you just got in a fight with walk down a death hallway. No.
I need you, as you take 3 steps into the hall. I need you to odds or evens.
Odds.
Okay.
Always.
Okay. So the floor that you step on after you take about the 3rd step tilts to the left. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as you are plunged into the spikes.
15.
You get shifted and shunted into...
Sorry. So sorry. Would a +4 help?
No.
Okay.
No, it would not, unfortunately. So Tatiana, you, as these blades are shifting and twitching, you feel yourself vibrate as you get closer to this blade, and you take... That's a really weird way of doing things. I don't like that it did that like that. Let me roll it this way. We're not going to use that dice. I know you could probably all see that one on D&D.
I'm not looking.
Okay.
I only watch your faces, and that makes this game hard enough.
So you take 22 points of slashing damage.
Oh no.
And as you get slashed and cut up and sawed, you see a dim burgundy glow start to suffuse the corridor. It illuminates every razor-sharp bit of metal as dark fluid seems to pour into the canister above the double doors on the other side of this hallway. And it seems as though, almost a way of a hose, all of your blood that you just got cut out of you starts to fill this canister.
Do we even know what it can change or get small? I mean, can anyone Ant-Man this situation here? Like, can anyone get her out? I've got a rope and try and lasso her. Not if I drag her through other saws. Don't know I don't quite know how far she got.
She only got
3 steps.
5. Yeah, it's about 3 steps.
Oh gosh.
Well, I took 3 steps.
Like she would be sorry, is it obvious that she will be sawed again if I pull her back in?
Maybe. It really depends on how you pull her in, because the floor right now is also kind of tilted, and so she has to kind of go uphill, up and around.
I look over to Paris and I say, anything you've got for me?
I've got maybe 20 more feet of rope and can-do attitude.
Well, I'll take the can-do attitude. I think I've got the rope myself.
All right. Niall's gone, right?
I don't know.
It was moving rooms, but I don't know if that means that he just can't talk right now, or if that means that he's listening. I'm not sure.
Look, some athletics checks to get Tatiana. I don't want to say I won't do it. I'll just say that he would probably want to do it the most.
You know, that's a good point. My instinct is to tie her and bring her through, which I can't protect her when she's being moved through the blades, which I would prefer to do. I am 17 hit points left, and if I look at that too long, I'm gonna die.
All right. I'm gonna toss Toddy a rope, probably already with some knotted handles that no one used. Not bitter.
You already have the rope ladder made.
So I would say for the sake of safety, she probably takes time, and she's not rushing to get this out. I'm not going to make her make a check for it. But yeah, she is able to get herself out of the immediate danger. And that's as soon as she gets out of the immediate danger, the floor resets again. And now she's standing on solid level ground.
Back here again?
No, you would be where you fell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty much as soon as they pulled you out of the spikes and the blades, the floor goes like back up straight. So you can,
but I'm still in the same area.
Yeah, you can continue on as this canister seems to be filling.
Still filling?
I was going to say, is it taking more than it should?
It doesn't seem to be taking any more than it should. It just seems that the amount of damage that Tatiana just took was the amount. It's kind of just like finishing the drizzle now.
Not going to lie, but if I do make it down to the end of the hallway, Mama's gonna have a nice long drink.
I roll her. I don't know if it's too meta, and maybe it doesn't have any healing properties, but Ari will take out one of the vials, will gently roll it along the ground, and pass it to Tatiana.
And Tatiana, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a lot of experience with traps that I can recall, nor a lot of experience with you I can recall. But don't your interactions normally go the other way around?
You mean I'm usually better at this? Yes.
No, normally you're the one draining someone's blood.
Oh, yes, that too. You're very, very correct on that one. Ari, thank you for finally seeing things my way. I'm going to open the vial that he's passed me, and I'm going to smell it first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I tell if it smells wrong?
Make a... Ooh. This is a tough call. Make a medicine.
Yeah.
I think a medicine check would probably be...
Medicine? Okay.
Is there any way that I could say that when I passed it to her, I sang along, please be careful.
Don't you put it in your mouth.
Don't you put it in your mouth, though it might look good to eat. Oh, it might look good to eat. That's so funny. That's exactly what I sing. I would like to give her bardic inspiration. I would like for it to be with that song more than anything in the world.
Oh my god.
This was a commercial that was on through the 90s.
Late 80s, man. Late 80s.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
These puppets, these creepy, bad puppets, but they were adorable.
What is that? Like a D4?
It's a
extra?
D6.
Oh, a D6.
I'll give you advantage on this because it is blood, and you are everything about you is blood. I'll give you advantage on it with the.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm sorry. With the D6. Okay.
Bardic inspiration. Remember, I gave you bardic inspiration.
The worst roll ever. I know nothing of this blood.
Wait, did you use your bardic inspiration?
She did.
Oh my god.
Fucking one.
Hey, wait a second. Are you saying I wasted? Don't you put it in your mouth?
Oh, you sure did.
Okay, Lily, if you don't watch that after, and I mean watch it from end to end. If you don't watch that after this game is done, I mean I won't do anything, but you should watch it.
So, Tatiana,
Retro Winnipeg.
You
smells good to me.
Well, no, it's kind of one of those things where it kind of worked in your favor in the opposite way, where it's like you have absolutely no recollection of any of this. Like this isn't even like, as you start to like swirl it around, it's like, oh, this doesn't even really look like blood. This is like you're like shaking it up a little bit, trying to like congeal it with some air into it, and it's just like it's like black. And like you see it's like sticking to the side of the vial, and it's like really disgusting, and you smell it, and it's like it smells rank, but like in a good rank way. Like you're very conflicted and very confused as to really what this is, but ultimately I think at the end of the day you get the idea that maybe this isn't just blood.
I am going to pour it on the spikes.
Okay.
And see if it goes into the bowl down at the end.
Ooh.
It seems to get carried on down the bowl as it fills up just a little bit more.
Well, it's definitely blood. I didn't smell like blood. It didn't look like blood. But it's definitely blood, because now it's in my drink over there.
Wouldn't drink that.
Do you
it's also
progress forward?
Do I?
Look, from what we can understand of this mechanism, it didn't reset until we drew you back, correct? I think we just need to press forward.
No, you got me off the spikes, and yeah.
I think one person best adept at dealing with this sort of mechanism, and the rest of us following behind, giving support where needed.
If I stand on one side of the hallway and someone else is willing to try and stand on the other side of the hallway, maybe it won't tilt as much. But that's a risk that somebody may want to take. Hopefully, live on the dangerous side with me.
I would try and run. It's like
The only other one that's sort of probably your weight doesn't have very much health. She kind of got blown up by a couple of fireballs. I'm way too big, but I could unrage and re-rage and stay this size, and I could just do it.
Oh, yes.
I'll be right back.
Take a deep breath and shrink down.
Would like to give,
and then use another.
As Ortega moves by, I just put my hand on his shoulder. I stop him for a second as he's like shortened down. And I just come up next to him, like I'm not like stopping. I just come up next to him and just say, "He's gotta be careful." And I pat him on the back with the bardic inspiration, and I send him off.
Parrish is gonna follow kind of in step behind him, and just before they step in, say, "Look, I think you're the only one who can get through there. This size. If anything goes wrong, though, I'm going to get you out. Doesn't matter what I can do or what I can't do. I'll get you out."
You got any juice you can give me now?
Give him a firm slap on the ass. Go get it, Tiger.
Wait, do you need healing? Do you need healing right now? Are you hurt?
I'm at just over half hit points.
And I will. Sorry, I didn't realize that I would. If I had seen that, my bonus action, I would take an action to given him a healing word for a 1d4 plus 2 d4.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Massive fucking HP pool. We're doing what we can.
Yeah.
It's a 4 plus 2. That's 6 extra hit points, buddy.
Let's freaking go.
I will.
Okay, so
I'm back up over 50.
So Ortega,
All right.
You're going to step in.
I'm going to rage, but I can elect to not grow in size.
Of course, absolutely.
So I'm just going to be regular sized Ortega.
But very upset. More concentrated rage.
Probably not. Yes, come after me.
Are you and you're walking in?
I am walking in, and I will head up next to Tati. Sorry.
I think we called Tati out. She just didn't remove herself.
As you get up to Tatiana, nothing clicks yet.
How much health do you have, Tati?
I'm feeling a little better than half. And worst case, I do still have a potion left and 3 vials of mysterious blood in the hands of Ari.
Oh, why don't I just go ahead solo and just get into all these spikes? Because, to be honest, Parrish is right. I'm the most adept at doing this. My skin is tougher than most people's. Those spikes won't do as much to me as they do to you.
Wait, just hear me out here. How high are the ceilings?
10 feet, because I already asked.
Okay, and you are how tall?
7'8".
Cool. Do you want to pick me up and turn me upside down and just kind of like stick me on the ceiling?
Sure.
I'm gonna walk the rest of the hallway on the ceiling.
Okay. Ortega?
Are you guys couples figure skating down a Doom hallway?
I mean,
yes.
With Parrish spotting awkwardly.
Ari's just gonna rush and judge from the side with a 10 and just wow.
I think Ortega's just gonna look up at Tati and just say, "Last one there is a rotten egg." I think Ortega's just gonna book it down the middle of the hallway.
Oh, I take on that challenge. I'm running.
Okay, so this is an awkward turn of events. Ortega, how much further are you going? Are you just booking it right off the bat?
Yeah, he just books it.
Okay, who else is in that hallway right now?
Not me.
Yo.
Ortega, you take 4 more steps as the floor tilts and shifts you towards the right. I need you to make your deck save for me, please.
Yeah.
As Tatiana just she's, Spider-Man skirting along the top of the ceiling, which is actually fine. It's shockingly, it's fine. And you just see Ortega go.
So 19 or 19.
So 19.
Danger sense.
God.
Oops.
Does the +4 do it?
A +4 will do it.
Ooh, I'm within
Just
range.
slap you on the ass.
Will you accept a helping hand outreached?
I mean, I started booking it down the hallway, but if I'm within range, I'm gonna take it.
Okay, so you would only take half of this damage as you do get poked and prodded and stuck in. You don't get stuck in like Tatiana did. It would have been 21 points normally, but you take half that. So
And I take
half again.
half of that because I'm raging.
okay, so like 5 total, I believe.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's so good.
And as you take
You're
that,
burying your way through a death hallway with nicks and scratches.
because you don't get impaled, it's now resetting, so you can continue on.
He doesn't even lose step as he just keeps running down the hallway.
Hold on, I gotta count here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
When you say step, is that like a square?
Yeah, it's essentially a square.
Okay.
I'm just
So yeah, Tatiana wasn't
Like you
affected
guys
by that.
did
It wouldn't have slowed her down at all. Ortega, you're still going forward?
Yep.
Okay, you go forward 4 more, and I need you to make another dexterity saving throw as you're tossed back to the left.
God.
Dirty 20 or 15. Dirty 20.
Yeah, you successfully save on that one, and you take, I'll do the math here, 8 points is what you would take after the half.
And a half.
Yeah. And
8 is a quarter.
yeah, 8 would be your quarter. Yeah.
Perfect.
And you're not stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You stuck? Oh my god.
Okay. Continuing on.
Yes, sir.
You get 1, 2, 3 as you get pummeled to the right again. One more deck save.
7 or... Oh, I probably fail that one. 13.
Yeah, you fail that one. But everything is, I think you.
I still take half damage.
So it's 24. Halved would be 12. And so now you are stuck there. Tatiana, we'll go to you, Tatiana. You see as you get to this canister, this vial that has been filling up with Ortega's blood, and you see it and you're just like, oh man, that looks so tasty right now. Like, oh, this is delicious. And you see Ortega, he's just like stuck on the side. You were the only one closest to him. Or you can choose to manually reset the trap by offering your own blood into the canister.
okay. So if I manually reset the trap, that will get him off.
He'll be able to get out, yeah, because right now he's stuck at the bottom of a hill, essentially, and as soon as it comes up, it's gonna like slide him out. But you're gonna have to donate blood to this canister.
Well, darling, don't say I've never done anything for you, and I'm going to graze my palm on one of the spikes.
Okay. And how much blood, how many hit points do you donate to the trap?
How many hit points do I need to donate in order to get him unstuck?
Make a...
You know how many hit points I just donated to your drink?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. Arcana.
27. That's
Ooh,
how
I have an
27.
advantage on that. Hold on. I'm going to use my advantage. Oh, shit rolls. 13.
13. You have the inclination that it looks to be about, I would say, 6/8 full. So if you probably donated 20 hit points, that would fill it. I'm not going to tell you the exact number, but you're guessing that it's around 20.
Put enough in to get me out of your job, Phil.
Do 25.
Okay.
Oh, I'm slitting a wrist.
That's just...
Again, don't say I never did anything for you.
It's more so her allowance of the amount that she donates. So as you watch your blood stream down your arm off to this blade, and it gets sucked and swirled and put into the canister, you see it bubble up as it fills and fills and fills completely, and then it starts to overflow as your blood had overfilled this canister. The canister itself starts to glow this reddish black swirl, and you see the floor and the blades retract into the walls, and the double doors that this canister is hanging above open up, leading the way to a staircase that goes down.
Parrish is just gonna lean to Ari and Talus and say, when I told Ortega he was the only one who could do this, I didn't know she could run on the ceiling. No, I'm really proud of him that he attempted it, all shrunk down. But she was definitely the right choice.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to call it tonight. With the deafness of this chamber removed, the flaming skulls dispatched, and the crystal canister filled with blood, our heroes unlock a path forward beyond the mysterious hall of twitching blades and vibrating saws, leading to a winding staircase. As they descend, new challenges await in the depths of the Betrayer's Rise. Before we part ways, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of our listeners for joining us on this thrilling adventure, and a special thank you, of course, to MABMUSIC for providing the enchanting melodies that accompany our tales. I've been your host and Dungeon Master Kyle, and join us next time as our brave adventurers descend deeper into the heart of the Betrayer's Rise, where the true extent of their courage will be put to the test. Until then, dear listeners, may your hearts be brave and your blades sharp.